A clock ticks forward every second. Most of the time, it changes nothing. But sometimes, in just 1 second, a destiny changes forever. This is the story of a boy named Arjun who had every reason to give up, and every reason not to. Arjun grew up in the dusty lanes of a quiet village, where the days were long, and dreams were small. His family was poor, but his home was filled with warmth and love. When Arjun was only 5, tragedy struck. His mother fell ill and passed away. From that day on, his father, Raghav, a silent, sturdy man, became both father and mother to him. Raghav worked in a brick kiln, lifting heavy loads under the scorching sun, earning barely enough to survive. Yet every evening, when he returned home, his first question was never about food. It was always, "Did you study today?" He skipped meals, walked miles to save on bus fare, and still somehow managed to pay Arjun's school fees on time. His hands were cracked, his back bent, but his heart was unbroken. By the time Arjun turned 12, he had learned to manage everything on his own. He woke up before sunrise, cooked a simple meal of rice and lentils, packed lunch for both of them, and went to school. His father went to the kiln, tired but smiling. Their life was hard, but they never complained. One evening Raghav returned home to find their little clay house filled with black smoke. Arjun had tried to cook rice using damp firewood. The thick smoke had filled the room, his eyes red, his lungs burning. Raghav rushed in, pulled him out, and shouted, "You should have waited, son. I could have done this." Arjun coughed and smiled faintly. "You work all day, Papa. I wanted you to rest when you came home." That night, for the first time in months, Raghav decided they wouldn't eat at home. He took Arjun into town for a simple meal, rice, dal, and a small sweet. It tasted better than any feast in the world. That night, under the stars, Raghav said, "One day, my son will become an engineer and build something that will outlive us both." And Arjun whispered, "I promise, Papa." But life often tests those who dream the hardest. One rainy afternoon, the brick kiln collapsed. A stack of heavy bricks came crashing down on Raghav's hands. The injuries were severe. Both hands had to be amputated. Months later, he came home broken, not just in body, but in spirit. He sat in silence, staring at the empty space where his hands used to be. "I have nothing left to give you, Arjun," he whispered. "I couldn't protect your mother. And now, I can't even work your dream. It's gone." But Arjun knelt beside him, holding his father's arm gently. "No, Papa, your dream is my dream. I'll work harder. I'll make it come true, for both of us." And he meant it. From that day on, Arjun's life changed. He studied at school during the day. In the evenings, he worked at a small roadside stall selling tea and snacks. On weekends, he rode his old bicycle for hours, delivering parcels for a courier company. He slept little, ate less, and worked endlessly, but never complained. Yet even the strongest hearts feel tired sometimes. One Sunday evening, exhausted and discouraged, Arjun sat under a flickering streetlight outside the bus station. Tomorrow was the last day to pay his engineering college admission fee. He had worked for months, but he was still 800 rupees short. He stared at his hands, the same hands that had once promised his father the impossible, and felt them tremble. But then he thought, one last try. He knocked on the door of a nearby house, hoping someone would buy his tea. An elderly woman opened the door, her face gentle, her eyes kind. Seeing his tired face, she said softly, "You look worn out, child. Come inside. Eat something first." She served him a warm meal of rice and vegetables. After eating, she asked, "Why are you working so hard at this age?" And so, he told her everything, about his father, the accident, his dream. She listened quietly, then disappeared inside her home. When she returned, she held out a small envelope. "This isn't charity," she said. "It's an investment in a boy who's going to change lives." Inside the envelope were exactly 800 rupees. That night, under the same streetlight where he had felt defeated, Arjun smiled for the first time in days. He whispered, "Thank you, whoever you are. I won't waste this chance." Years passed. Through relentless work and sleepless nights, Arjun completed his engineering degree. But he didn't stop there. He built a rural tech company, a startup that brought clean energy and affordable tools to poor villagers like his own. He opened training centers for children who couldn't afford education, teaching them how to build, repair, and innovate. Arjun had become what his father dreamed of, but he never forgot where he came from. One afternoon, years later, an emergency struck at one of his centers. An old woman had collapsed just outside the gate, coughing and gasping for breath. She had no family, no ID, no one to call. The staff said, "Sir, her treatment will be expensive." Should we take her to the local clinic instead? Arjun shook his head. No, he said firmly. She stays here. Life comes before money. For 2 months she was cared for, medicine, food, comfort, everything. And when she finally recovered, the doctor handed her a folder. These are your discharge papers, he said kindly. She opened it nervously, expecting a bill she could never pay. But inside was only a note. It read, your kindness bought this treatment long ago when you gave 800 rupees to a boy selling tea who had a dream. That boy is now the man who saved your life. Tears filled her eyes. Moments later, Arjun entered the room, his face calm, his smile gentle. You gave me more than money that day, he said softly. You gave me belief. You gave me a future. Today, I'm just returning what you started. She reached out and held his hand, the same hands that once carried hope through poverty and pain. Both smiled, both cried, both understood. Love, sacrifice, kindness, these are the quiet forces that build worlds. A father's strength, a boy's determination, a stranger's compassion. Together they changed not just one life, but countless others. Never underestimate the power of a small act of kindness. It might not change the world instantly, but it can rewrite someone's entire future. So when life gives you a chance to help someone, do it, because one day, when you least expect it, that kindness will find its way back to you, just like a circle that never ends. If this story touched your heart, share it with someone who needs hope today. And don't forget to subscribe for more stories that remind us of what truly makes life beautiful: kindness, courage, and never giving up.